back, my lovelies, to a series we have started, and it's like a podcast. But we're going to read scary stories, or we're going to tell scary stories that have happened to us. And we're going to, react to them. So, yeah, and we're here with Breadqueen and Peanut.
Hi, I am still alive. We're both still alive. The other people might not be still alive because they're not here. So we'll have to check on them after this, see if they're alive.
Hey, brother, you alive?
Yes. Okay. So while we're doing this podcast, I'm playing a video game, and if I just make random noises and I go oh no, it's because of the game, because I accidentally messed up. I gave somebody something they didn't like. And
I will have our editor put in the game she's playing so we don't get copyrighted by saying it. So let's start with our first story. Do you want to tell your story, or do you want me to read one from Reddit?
I have a story. So I went on a ghost tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the stops was a haunted hotel, and it had 6 stories, but it also had a 7th story, but only on half of the hotel. So it was really weird.
Oh.
And the thing is, this old lady, she was a maid. And
a maid? Wait, there's maids in this world
it's
still?
a hotel.
Oh, guys, I actually kind of forgot there's maids.
Hotels have...
I thought they were just cleaning
Girl,
ladies.
you gotta pay attention.
I am. I had to unplug my computer because it was whistling noises.
Oh. And so it's a really old hotel, so the elevator's really janky and stuff.
Yeah.
And she started hearing voices.
Voices?
On the elevator. Yeah, voices, but she didn't know what they said because it was just mumble jumble.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of I forgot the hotel.
Story.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so anyway, so she ignored it because she thought it was just the gears not being normal.
Yeah, just rusty and stuff.
Yeah. And so days pass, right? And it still happens, but only to her, because she tells people about it. And no one else has the same experience. And the voice gets clearer and clearer as the days go on. And I
would quit the job at that point.
She finds out one day that the voice was talking about when she was gonna die.
Oh! Just imagine just being in the elevator and it's January 14th, 2029. And it gets clearer every time, and it's your death date.
And it's just fun. But, so something I left out is the elevators always act super weird. So, you could press a button and it goes to a different floor.
Guys, why would you work at a ghost hotel at this point, or a ghost tour area?
It's just...
Guys, I can't find a job.
Thing back then. It's shut down now. It's been shut down for 20 years.
Oh.
But, yeah. So anyway, one day she was working on the 6th floor, right? And she pressed the button, and she was waiting for the elevator to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And she has those carts things, so she needs to back up. The elevator door opens, she hears it.
Yeah.
She steps, backwards, and she falls 6 stories down.
What?
Because the elevator went to the 7th floor. That's on the other half of the hotel.
There's a YouTube short about an elevator where if you don't get on time, you'll fall down. And it's still running right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
It's one of those elevators with no doors.
Yeah.
And like if you miss your floor,
and then you just fall. I'm like, how are you still allowed to have that? There must be little kids that always fall.
Someone put a camera like in it to let it go like all the way around, and it showed that at the bottom, like it just goes in a circle, so you don't get crushed or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, I feel like that's kind of dangerous.
Anyway, I'm not done.
I'm sorry.
So, our tour guide, he was amazing. But he told us that a lady in like one of his past tours, they were talking about like that story.
Yeah.
And she looked at one of the hotel windows because it was right in front of the hotel when he was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she just let out a blood-curdling scream.
Oh!
Everyone was freaking out because, like, they had no idea what was going on. And he was facing away from the hotel, and so everyone was focusing on him except her. And when she, like, calmed down, because he got everyone to calm down, he asked what she saw, and she said that she saw an older woman putting her face against the window like she was listening to them.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And he thought, like, oh, well, you know, maybe it was just someone who works there and he saw something.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be like, oh, it's the janitor.
For years.
Okay. Stop. I feel like if you're going to rummage around the abandoned place or you're going to work at a place that people say there's ghosts, then you've doomed yourself. You have accepted your fate of death. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a story from Reddit, and I will be putting the person who wrote this story in the description. So it's called The Whispering Darkness, A Night of Terror in the Family Home. This happened to me when I was 10 years ago, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. Whenever I think about it, it still sends shivers down my spine. It might sound exaggerated, but I don't think it is. This event took place on a summer evening, and whether you believe it, it's up to you. Here's the story. I was staying at the dorm and decided to visit my family home during the break.
Oh, wow. Was that popping in the story? Are you just dying?
I did this often. I hadn't seen my parents and siblings in a while, and I missed them dearly. Our family home wasn't too far away, but it wasn't exactly close either. I had told my family I would be home that day, and they were aware of it. However, they mentioned they'd be visiting my aunt and might be late. Normally, my dad would pick me up, but he was accompanying my mom. They told me to take a cab. Oh, guys. That's crazy. You're gonna go take a cab because I'm with your mother. Can't mom drive herself, to be honest?
Oh.
They wanted me to wait for them at home, and honestly, I was too tired to argue. I just wanted to rest. And to be frank, I don't like my cousins. They're way too noisy. That's so real, though.
I don't think his name is Frank.
Anyway.
Get it to be Frank.
Anyway, I took a cab and
technical difficulties.
Anyways, I took a cab and started my journey home. By the time I arrived, it was already midday. As I stepped out of the cab and looked at the house, something caught my eye, a movement behind the curtains. It was as if someone was there. I couldn't see clearly, but I was almost certain I saw the silhouette of a person. I'm guessing they mean like the shadow or like a figure of a person. That's
silhouette?
Yeah, it's spelled SILHOUETTE.
Silhouette.
Oh, guys. I feel like at that point I just run if I saw someone. Stop. When I was little, did you ever get that whenever you were like at the car waiting for your parents to like get out of the grocery store? You would like duck whenever someone would come near?
No.
What?
Because I was small, so they couldn't see me anyway.
Oh, I was pretty tall for my age.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No one was supposed to be home. Could it be my siblings? That was the only possibility I could think of at the time. I got out of the car and walked toward the front door. When I arrived, I knocked and waited, but no one answered. This was strange. Oh, she's outside. I thought she was inside.
I thought she was, I was like, girl, ever heard of Amazon? Like...
No, this is inside. Ew! If I saw someone in my, like, the family house, like the beach house or whatever, and no one was home, yeah, that's it. I'm burning the house.
Oh, wow.
This was strange. I could have sworn someone was inside, but the windows and doors were locked. I thought maybe I was just imagining things because of how tired I was. We always kept a spare key hidden outside. It wouldn't be wise to reveal the location here. I retrieved the key and unlocked the door. For a moment, I hesitated. I can't quite explain why, but I felt like my whole body was warning me not to go inside. That is a sign! Don't go inside. Don't go.
Like, call the police.
Yes! Stop. If my body is telling me no, do not. Because I feel like they always say humans have that instinct. Like they always have. So just trust your instinct at that point. Even if it's nothing, just wait till your parents are home.
POV is mine right now. Stop. Don't go. His body, well, maybe just a little pee.
Just a little pee. But there was no logical reason for this feeling, so I dismissed it and stepped in. The house was
silent. What do you mean there's no logical feeling? What do you mean?
The feeling...
There's a person in your house.
The house was silent, eerily silent. No one was there. I was exhausted, so I headed straight to my siblings' room and laid on the bed. The last thing I remember was falling into a deep sleep. When I woke up, it was already dark, and my family still wasn't home. Okay, I think something happened to them at that point, if they aren't answering.
I was thinking, this isn't his house.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, no, but she... into someone's house.
But she said that, it's her, she, him, whatever, siblings' room. They're in their siblings' room.
It was dark. Maybe they can't see. And
it was sunny. It was sunny when he went into the house, or they went in the house. So it's dark now. It's like late at night.
Okay. Turn on a light.
I called them, and they said they'd be a little later than expected. Where are they?
Oh my god.
Feeling hungry, I decided to go to the kitchen to grab something to eat. Stop. Just go out of the house. If you're hungry, let's go out, and then whenever your parents arrive, you just go back to the house. But maybe if you're broke, that's a different story.
Or you could just walk around a store.
Yeah. The lights were off, so I made my way to the hallway to turn them on. As I did, I started hearing faint sounds from the kitchen. I told you! Like someone softly humming a melody. It was the most beautiful sound I had ever heard. Almost hypnotic. Oh my god.
Is there a siren on land? It's just like a fish flopping on the ground while singing.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, this sounds so beautiful. Let me go downstairs. And then you just find a big monster waiting for you. What's up? It sounded like a woman's voice, and it was pulling me toward it. It is a siren.
It's on land. And she's just in a cup. Like, hey, guys.
What's up?
It's pretty small in this cup, because I'm just a small bean.
I was terrified, but unable to rest. Slowly, I reached for the kitchen door handle. My arm felt like it was moving on its own. The moment I touched the handle, the humming stopped. Silence. I tried convincing myself it was just the sound from outside. Who's gonna be humming outside your house at night?
Someone on no stuff.
Oh. Got into mom's special stuff. Or dad's special stuff, I don't I was searching for a logical explanation, or maybe I was just still half asleep. Girl, you cannot keep blaming it.
Person. We do not know the gender of, because we are respectful here.
Why are you blaming your sleep?
No, because I would be like taking a nap and then I wake up and I like have no idea what day it is. Because I wake up and I'm just like, whoa, how long was that? And my mom was like, it's like 30 minutes. I'm like, whoa.
That's crazy.
That's a nap right there.
Hesitating, I opened the door, but the kitchen was completely dark. Nothing was there. The windows and doors were locked. I told myself my mom was playing tricks on me, or maybe I was just imagining things because I was groggy. I grabbed something to eat and went back to my siblings' room to lay down again, and that's when it happened. As I walked to the room, I turned off the hallway lights, and just as I did, I felt a chilling presence behind me. My heart started pounding, and instantly I turned around. Yes! Finally?
Nothing's gonna be there.
And I saw it. Standing in the doorway was a figure. It was dressed in black, as if it was wrapped in silk. No face, no eyes, nothing was visible, but it could clearly see it standing there. It faced... Wait! It's just like Carl!
Oh my gosh, Carl! Okay, that's what I'm gonna say next.
Okay. It faced me with its back to the door, completely like it was a lifeless corpse. It is exactly like Carl.
Oh my gosh. My buddy. I thought we had something good going on. Why are you cheating on me?
But I could feel its gaze, as if it was studying me from head to toe. I couldn't hear anything except the sound of my heart pounding wildly. All I remember is screaming and running into my siblings' room, slamming the door shut and locking it. I hid under the blanket, trembling. I reached for my phone to call my mom, or maybe the police, but it wasn't there. Then I remembered I had left it in the kitchen while eating. I couldn't go back to the kitchen. What if it was still out there? The kitchen door was right next to the main door. I had no idea what to do. I felt like a trapped animal praying for that thing to leave. Then I heard it. 3 knocks on the door. And then silence. My heart was racing, but that wasn't the scariest part. The most terrifying part was there was no bread.
That's not what it says.
The most terrifying thing came next. A voice I recognized. It was my mom's voice. Son, open the door. I miss you. But there was no warmth in it. No emotion at all. Yeah, or it could be a skinwalker.
No, skinwalkers can't, like... They just, like, yell, like, help in the distance to, like, lure people. And mimics actually, like, take form of, like, people you know and stuff.
That's what... Oh, yeah. No, skinwalkers can transform into stuff, too.
Really? Are you... Really?
Yeah, I'll look it up right now.
I feel like mimics are more like they transform into more like personal people, and then skinwalkers would be just like random people.
Turn into humans. Yes, skinwalkers can transform into humans, but it's very rare and difficult.
And what's the difference between a skinwalker and a mimic?
A mimic does not transform. It can mimic the voice completely normally. A skinwalker has trouble mimicking voices and transforming, but it can still lure people in, and it can transform. Just mimics can't.
So I saw a video.
Because that's why the mimic on Roblox.
And it was this girl and her, like, boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she's been seeing, like, the back of her boyfriend's head just, like, everywhere she goes. Even if, like, her boyfriend's not there or, like, right next to her. Mm-hmm. She just only sees the back of her boyfriend's head. And, like, they think it's a mimic.
Then it's a skinwalker. Because skinwalkers transform, and
no, but all it does is just stand there. Like, it doesn't do anything else. It just stands there. But it does, like, get closer, like, every time she sees it.
I mean, it could be a wig, to be honest. I don't think... Here, let me look it up, if mimics can transform. Can mimics... And pacifiers, mimics believe they can develop into humanoids through a process called apoptosis. So they try, but they're not very good at it.
Okay.
Compared to skinwalkers. And skinwalkers can't even do it right, so... Anyways, back to the story. But I could feel its gaze as... Oh, no, never mind. I read this part.
Ow! You're facing a door, and yet you could feel its gaze.
But there was no warmth in it, no emotion at all. I was frozen. Something deep inside of me screamed not to answer. Then it spoke again. Son, why won't you open the door? Don't you miss me? But it wasn't my mom. My mom always called me by my name. Only my dad used to address me like that. I covered my ears and tried to block it out. I think it went on for about 30 minutes, repeating at intervals and then silence. I wanted to get my phone from the kitchen, but what if it was still there? I decided to stay in my siblings' room until my family came home. I don't know how long I waited, but eventually I heard the sound of the front door opening. A familiar voice called out, "Son, are you home?" It was my dad. "Dad," I shouted back. "You're here? Why weren't you answering your phone?" My siblings ran to hug me, and when I saw my mom, I embraced her tightly, which surprised her. I never usually did that because I was shy, but I didn't care this time. I told them what happened, though I didn't want to go into too much detail. They were shocked, which was understandable. I didn't want to worry them too much, especially since they lived in that house. I considered myself mature for my age. After that, nothing strange happened during my stay. When the break ended, my dad dropped me off at the dorm. I never told anyone else about this. They probably think I was crazy, but when I searched online, I found many people with similar experiences. It was comforting to know I wasn't losing my mind. But what if there really was something there? What about my family? These thoughts haunted me every time I visited my family home. It's been about 10 years. My family still lives there, and nothing else has happened. But I'll never forget that night, especially that beautiful melody. It's still stuck in my mind. That's insane.
So we know it's a guy.
Yeah, it's a guy.
So he's basically in love with a mimic.
Oh.
That's fun. No, because he's like, oh my gosh, like, that voice is so beautiful and mesmerizing. I love it so much.
Yeah, I think he admires it, though. I don't think he likes it. Like the voice. He was scared of the experience. That'd still be scary. That reminds me of, like, a time... This is a short story, and then you can talk about Carl. I swear, I was haunted for a long time at my dad's house. Because when we had first moved in, some weird stuff happened. Like, I would walk up, because it's a 2-story, and from our stairs, you can see our bathroom, like, down the stairs to the hall. And I swear I saw an old lady, like, with white hair, white eyes. Actually, no, you couldn't see hair, but I'm guessing it was white, because she looked old. In a white gown. Kind of like Granny from Roblox, but I swear I wasn't making it up. She would look at me. She didn't move. She just looked at me. And you're probably like, oh, it's probably the mirror reflection. It never happened again. It only happened, like, once or twice.
Grandma, also.
Huh?
Like, you're not a grandma, so it wouldn't be a reflection.
Yeah. And so and then this happened last year, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, the granny thing happened when I was in, like, elementary still, but something happened last year. And after I threw it away, nothing happened. So I had this stuffy panda, and you're probably like, oh, maybe she was scared of eyes and stuff like that. I was scared of dolls and like that, but I loved this panda. I would always play with him. And he was not my favorite. He was just one of those toys like you liked, but you wouldn't he's not your favorite. And he I put him on my shelf across from me because my bed, just imagine a big room, my bed's to my wall, and then my shelf's facing my bed. So my panda was facing me while I was sleeping, and I liked it. I mean, I like having stuffed animals look at me. I don't know why. I feel safe. But he gave unsettling vibes after a while. And I had this dream of facing him. It was a dream where I was facing him. I couldn't move. It was kind of like sleep paralysis, and it was red. The room was red, and you're probably like, oh my gosh, it was just streaming. Or, oh my gosh, that sounds like a classic horror movie. No, I'm not kidding you. It was just red lighting. And my panda wasn't directly looking at me. He was kind of facing a little bit towards my couch, which is across the room. And in my dream, he moves a little bit to face me more. And when I wake up, he's in that position. And so I got scared of him. And anytime I'd be in that room, I'd hear footsteps because I have the room with the attic. And so I'd hear footsteps in my attic. I'd hear sounds from my bathroom because I have a bathroom in my room. And then once I threw away that panda plushie because I had told my parents about it. And they were... Stop. They were done with me complaining about it. So on Halloween night, they threw him away, and he never appeared again.
Halloween?
I don't know. He never appeared again, which, yeah, I guess he wouldn't appear again. It's not a Chucky situation. But I was always scared to throw him away because I was like, what if it becomes a Chucky situation? But it wasn't. He never appeared again, and the noises stopped. And I forgot to mention, my door would shut, really hard. It would be, all the way open. It would shut. And my windows weren't open. And my parents were like, oh, it's probably just the wind circulation. How? Because after I threw away that panda plushie, it never happened again.
The wind is targeting you.
No, it's because literally when I had it would shut all the time. It would and sometimes I swear it would open. And then it would shut. And then after I threw it away, it would never shut again. Even if I opened my window, because I was testing out these theories, I was like, yeah, maybe it was the wind, now I think of it. But it wouldn't shut again. My door would not shut.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah. I
don't like that.
Yeah, it always creeped me out.
That's cute.
Yeah, I'm glad I threw it away. And it wasn't even my plushie. It came from my next door neighbors. I will not be saying their name because that would just be evading them. But they had given me a bunch of plushies, and they gave me a bag and a book because they were like, oh, these were our daughter's toys because they're an old couple. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I had them. And we still have most of the plushies they gave me. I just gave them to my brother because they creeped me out too much. And my brother's into plushies. It's a rabbit one. I'm only creeped out by them now because of what happened with the panda one. If that didn't happen, I would still love them. But ever since then, no, I can't do it. Not with them.
Yeah. Ew.
Now tell us about Carl, and then your story will be the last because I think this has been a really long episode.
Okay, so I was young. I was a young child, right?
Yeah.
And so I was in second grade, and right?
Yeah.
I'm older now. I'm more mature, but I remember it so vividly. So one night, right, I wake up just randomly because I usually have a reason to wake up, my alarm clock goes off or I need to go to the bathroom, but I just woke up and I look at my clock and it's it's 2 a.m, so I can go back to sleep. But my door's open and my door's never open.
Oh my gosh, it's the door opening.
It's opened the wrong way. You know how there's a certain way doors open up?
Yeah.
It's in the room where it's out of the room. My door opens into into the room, and this door opened out of my room.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, everything else was the same except the door. And in the doorway, there's a tall shadow figure with, like, no face. I just see, like, the silhouette of, like, a body just standing there.
Yeah, and that's
like,
what this girl mentions in her story.
I'm in my bed, and I'm just staring at it, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what it was. So I just said, like, hey, like, what are you doing? And it's nothing. And I thought it was my dad. I was like, this, like, are you sleepwalking? Do you sleepwalk? And, like, nothing. So, like, I hide under my blanket because, that's going to do something. And the next night, it happens again. And then I started thinking it was my grandpa who died. So I was just like, oh, hey, like, you're taller than I remember and really skinny. It's like, how's heaven? You know, like, is it nice? Is it warm? Like, can you not stare at me while I sleep? And so, like, I, like, scratched my eyes, right? Yeah. And, like, it just disappeared. Yeah. But the door was still, like, not the same.
Yeah.
So I get freaked out, and in the morning I put a baseball bat by my bed.
Oh, guys. You gonna come at me? You gonna come at me? Let's go.
And so the next night, right, like, he's there again, and the baseball bat is by my bed. And so, like, nothing else changed except...
Let's go fight. Again. Let's go.
But my dad, quote on my, like, 2-finger thing, dad, don't know what it's called, just, like, showed up on the corner and just, like, started speaking gibberish. But the weird thing is, like, his room is, like, straight from my door, and he was on the side where, like, the guest room is.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't make sense that he'd be there, because I would see him.
Yeah.
And, like, so I said, what? And the funny thing is it, like, repeated it again. Because, like, I don't know, I didn't expect that to happen. Like, someone says something, and it's, like, a ghost, and I say, what? And then he's, like, repeating it again. I feel like I'd be like, oh my gosh, woman, listen to the words I'm saying. But, like, no. So, like, I started crying because I had no idea what was going on, and I was, like, really scared. And the next night, it didn't happen, and it just stopped. I named him Carl. He's my bestie. I miss him. He was basically my therapist. Because I talked to him that second night about, like, school.
My brother on my mom's side, he's little. I mean, he's my youngest brother. He would talk to himself. And back then, he didn't have any technology. Keep this in mind. And he didn't read. He couldn't read. And you might think, oh, he was playing with dolls. No, I would look into his room, and he wouldn't be playing with dolls. He'd be sitting facing a wall, or he'd be on his bed facing a wall, and he'd say, you're so funny. And then he'd start laughing uncontrollably. It was like he was possessed, and sometimes, I swear to gosh, my mom thought he was possessed too. It was insane. Spooky.
That's not normal, but okay.
I think
so, like,
it hasn't
that's all
happened.
for today, you guys.
Yeah, that's all for today. If you like the series, let us know. And thank you for tuning into our first episode of the podcast. Yeah. Bye.